Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are back in Yamato. And we're trying a new build. I don't remember if I've showcased the Yamato since I swapped commanders, but we're running Arpeggio Yamato. We have Andrew Cunningham and Paolo de Revel as our inspirations. We have Flammable Cannoneer, Gyrating Drill Bits, Marksmanship, Long Arm of Justice, and Fight Fire with Fire as our build. We are running Aiming Systems Mod 1. Steering Gears Mod 2, Concealment System Mod, and we are running the Main Battery Mod 3 for faster reload time for every 30,000 damage we do. Alright, so with all that being said, let's get to the gameplay. Alrighty, so we're going to be on Sea of Fortune, and we are in the mighty Yamato. Now, a lot of people been asking me lately, Spartan, is Yamato still good in 2025? And the answer, of course, is yes, it's still good. I don't know why people keep asking that. It's Yamato. Like, what is not to like about Yamato? Now, sure, it'll troll you, but when it's not trolling you, it's completely obliterating everything in its path. Like, it's very few ships in the game that do what the Yamato do, and get away with it, right? Now, that's not to say the Yamato doesn't have some drawbacks. Like I already mentioned, it will troll you, okay? If you're just now getting Yamato and you start firing the guns, if you're not used to Japanese battleship dispersion and how it works, where you get some shots that make you question why you're even playing a ship to begin with, it's going to happen, all right? But then you're going to get a shot out of the Yamato where somebody's bow tanking you in, say, a Montana, and they think they're doing a pretty good job of minimizing the amount of damage they're about to take, and you're going to fire your guns and you're going to completely obliterate them straight through the bow for 30,000 damage. And I'm not being facetious. Like, it's not improbable to hit somebody straight through the bow for 30k damage without getting a Citadel. But that being said, let's let the Yamato speak for itself. First shot out the gate, Preußen over-angled. Like, it's getting to that point, folks. It's that time of the update where everybody's starting to get their ships, and now we're going to have an entire lobbies full of these Preußens, which means damage records are about to be broken, because there's a lot of hit points out there, and a lot of people that don't know what the f they're doing in them. So this is, this is one of those times where Montana Madness might actually come through and pull this off, because I'm telling you, the games that I'm starting to see with these Preußens, like, it's kind of reminding me back in the day when we had the Yamato and the Musashi and stuff come out. Like, they're just everywhere, and there are a lot of hit points, and when you put somebody that don't know what they're doing in a ship with that many hit points, they tend to play super aggressively, but also not understand that they have armor that can angle, and so they just sit there broadside, and it just leads to a lot of damage to be had. And so we're going to showcase that in this one. Meanwhile, we already lost our destroyer. Oh, wait, we haven't lost him yet. Okay, now we've lost our destroyer. And our other destroyer is sitting in the cap watching a Colombo charge him down. Now, if you're in this position, you got to get out of there. Like, you don't know if that's a secondary build Colombo, and even if it isn't, that's a 16-gun battleship who's closing the distance. He gets a broadside out on you, you're going to wish you hadn't got involved. Just say it. Most battleships can dev strike a gearing from full health at legendary tier, if given the opportunity. And so 16 guns are begging for it. Now, this Colombo, like I said, he's begging for this. I don't know why he decided he needed to charge straight in like a lunatic, but, you know, smoke screens do tell you that you're allowed to do things occasionally that don't make sense. I think this is one of those times for him. But you can see he is actually a secondary build, because the secondaries are shooting me at almost 10 kilometers away. So that tells me a lot about him. Now, he just fired his guns at us, and we're going to go ahead and take advantage of that beautiful overmatching we know. So we're going to aim a little bit higher. We want to get as many pins as possible, and 6 full pins. I mean, good God. That is disgusting. Now, you might be looking at that and be like, well, Spartan, you didn't overmatch him. He was basically broadside. Yeah, not quite. They do have the extended belt, so I aim up a little bit higher than normal, so I get to take advantage of that thinner armor, that 32 mil. And here, you're going to see it once again. I aim high, straight through that 32. That is why the Yamato and the Musashi will always be good. Now, again, more drawbacks of the Yamato. The two biggest drawbacks of the Yamato aren't the guns, okay? The guns are its biggest strength, one of its weaknesses, sure. But the biggest drawbacks of Yamato, in my opinion, in most games is you're going to run into matches where you just don't survive long enough. And the reason being is you only have 2 heals. They're not particularly good heals. And then on top of that, your damage control is only active, like you only have a 7 or 8 second immunity period for your damage control, which leads to really unfortunate things happening, like fires and stuff, floods that normally you'd be able to get away from in other battleships where you have a 30-second invulnerability period. You don't get that with Yamato. You get like 8 seconds, and then it's just insta-fires, insta-flooding again. And when you only have 2 heals, that really limits your survivability. On top of that, you only have 90,000 hit points, which, when you think about legendary tier, 90,000 hit points used to be solid, but now it's kind of middle of the road, maybe even a little bit on the low side when you factor in you only have 2 heals. So, in my opinion, those are the biggest problems with Yamato. Now, a lot of people will be like, well, Yamato has terrible armor. Well, it doesn't. The Yamato doesn't have terrible armor. People just don't know how to use armor. So they sit broadside or they over-angle and then they get caught. Everybody knows the weakness of the Yamato by now, right? Like, we all know that it has a funky armor scheme that you can get pinned through the cheek in Citadel. If you get caught broadside in Yamato, you die. If you over-angle in Yamato, you die. If you chase people around the corner, you die, right? There's no pass and go, no collecting $200. If you screw up in Yamato, you die. So you got to play smart. Hence the reason I'm not just barreling around the corner into 2 Preussens and a Yamato. But we've already put up 92,000 damage. We've done pretty well up to this point of minimizing how much damage we take in return, despite doing a nice little close quarters brawl with a Colombo. Enemy Yamato is out here broadside as crap, and this is exactly what we were just talking about. If you're broadside in Yamato, you die. And we're going to clap his cheeks. Half his health gone. Between me and whoever was behind me, half that man's health is gone. Now, he does wisen up, and he's like, oh, I need to turn away. This is bullcrap. I just got slapped. Now, he's also firing HE out of a Yamato, which tells you everything you need to know. He's a Yamater, right? Like, if you're shooting HE out of a Yamato, unless there's very specific circumstances, you're just not good at the game. That is the way it works. Preussen, we catch him turning towards us. I was hoping for a Citadel there, but unfortunately didn't get it. You guys will point out that he's got turtleback armor and all that, but yeah, he was turning towards me. He's raising that Citadel out of the water, increasing the likelihood that we can catch him. Now, Yamato just lost half his hit points a minute ago, and he decides that he wants to go broadside once again to fire his HE. Do I need to say any more? You can't do that. But of course, in true Spartan fashion, I got to leave him with just enough to get away. But it doesn't matter. We mark him for death. Our friend in the back manages to take him down. Now, I am aware that the Preussen on the enemy team is coming around that island to my right. Right? So I don't want to just rush ahead to try to get the broadside, despite the fact that there's a Preussen on my left. That is broadside to me right now. If I come around the corner, I can slap the crap out of him. But if I do that, then I'm putting myself in a crossfire. And we've talked about this. That's a bad thing. Crossfires work both ways. If you can get a crossfire on somebody, usually somebody's got a crossfire on you. It's just how that works. Mathematics. It's just science. Anyway, Preussen comes around the corner, and this is a Preussen that we've already caught a couple of times, but we'll give the benefit of the doubt to this guy because he at least seems to try to angle a little bit. Now here, he's still over-angled. I'm going to aim high. I don't want to hit his belt here. I want to hit his upper side plating and superstructure, and we get a good result out of it. Again, knowing the enemy ship, knowing what your ship can do, and understanding where weaknesses are, and he gets the luckiest Citadel of his life. I know that I'm over-angled, but I didn't honestly think that the Preussen was capable of pinning at that angle. I thought that I was angled enough, because remember, Preussen may have 18-inch guns, or if I swear to God, if somebody in the comments goes, well, technically, Spartan, they're not 18-inch guns, they're 17.997 millimeter guns, or 17.997-inch guns. So they're not 18-inch guns. They're off by 3,000ths of an inch. I think we can, give them the benefit of the doubt. It's an 18-inch gun. What it isn't is the Yamato's overmatchable 18.1-inch guns, the 460 millimeter guns. Now, as Preußen decides he wants to go full broadside here, I've already decided I'm committing. I know he's going to die. So I want to be up here and ready to take him out. And I'm not going to lie, I kind of wait a little bit longer than I should have here. I should just fired as soon as I got my guns ready. But anyway, he ends up losing a little bit of health here. We take him down this time. But yeah, I wanted to wait for my plane because I wanted to guarantee it. Because if I screw that up and I don't kill him, I die. We already talked about this. If I screw that up and I don't leave it, if I leave him with just enough to get away, I'm dead. There's no pass and go, no collecting $200. We've seen it multiple times, whether it's me doing it or anybody else that's ever been in a Yamato. You have not been in a Yamato and not screwed up at least once, right? I guarantee every one of us at some point or another has Yamatoed right into getting absolutely obliterated. It happens. Right? You can't be perfect all the time, and even if you are really good at the game, you're still going to get caught once in a while. Yama is just that kind of ship. Like, if you screw up and you forget about one person somewhere on the map and they catch your broadside, it could be lights out in one shot. But here we're gonna be trying to push back across the map. We've already put up 208,000 damage in this match. We're just trying to pad our stats at this point. So we're trying to put ourselves in a position to help not only our team in the middle, but also the one guy over on the left side of the map in the Yoshido trying to hold against the Preußen. Now, one of the things that you got to remember, Preußen does, in fact, overmatch 30 millimeters of armor. And that is something that a lot of cruisers at Legendary tier hold dear. Their 30 millimeters of armor. They're like, well, 30 mils protects me against 17-inch guns, and it protects me against 16-inch guns. I don't get overmatched. But Preußen, with its 18-inch guns, does overmatch 30 mil. It just doesn't overmatch 32 mils. So that is the big difference. And a lot of people don't understand overmatching. All overmatching means is that your shells ignore the angle of impact if they are capable of overmatching the enemy's armor. So they just immediately penetrate, right? But as the Preußen's continuing to push, he's still broadside. You can see him on the minimap. He is broadside as crap. I'm trying to help my Yoshino out here. Trying to help him out as best I can. And we are getting some solid damage in. We're padding our stats. Again, this is what I'm talking about with these Preußens. If you're a battleship main right now, if you're a destroyer main, good lord, you could have some fun with these guys. But battleship mains, good god, man, it is target practice out here. They're cruisers as well, like all you DPM cruisers are salivating as well. I mean, we have not seen this many. Look at that shot. Look at that shot. And of course, the rear turret of justice doesn't come through this time. But our poor little Yoshido over there is getting his butt whooped. Because again, he does get overmatched by the Preußen. But he goes down to the secondaries of the Preußen. He does get his torpedoes away, as you'd expect, out of the guy. But of course, I have to try to get a little bit more damage off of him. So I do. I managed to hit him just enough to leave him with enough to get finished off by the enemy, or by the friendly Yoshino. Now, this next thing, I ain't gonna lie, this drives me crazy. I was like lining myself up. I'm like, I'm gonna ruin this Howden. I know it's a Howden Leu or something like that is how it's pronounced. It's Golden Lion. I know that. I'm gonna just call it the Golden Lion from now on. I'm tired of trying to pronounce it. Because there's always somebody in the comments that's like, well, Spartan, it doesn't sound like that. You just sound weird. It's like, okay, well, I'm trying. At least I'm trying. So from now on, it's going to be Golden Frieza. I mean, Golden Lion. But either way, we're going to try to push through the middle. We're going to try to catch him in a crossfire. Our destroyer is unfortunately not able to spot him because the Golden, in his own defense, decides to put himself behind an island, which is a good thing because it keeps him from being spotted. Guys behind me are going to have a better look at this guy than I am until the guy decides to come out, right? And right now, I'm like, oh, please, baby, come around that corner. I got something for you. And it's almost like he heard me because then he's just like, nah, I don't think I want to come around that corner. What I think actually happens here is a couple of my teammates shoot him, and then he just stops. He's just like, nope, can't be bothered. You can see people chipping and chipping away. And he just starts reversing. Then he puts up his freaking sonar for no reason whatsoever. I guess he's worried about the destroyer out there in the outside left, but like for no reason essentially whatsoever. And then reverses and gets away from me. Like, come on, man, you can't let me get 260k? Wasting my time. But it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it was a great game. We had a lot of fun. 253,000 damage, 2 kills, holding the flank down, showing that you can absolutely brawl with this thing if you have to. Got to be careful, but it's still a great ship. 3k base XP, top of the leaderboard. What more do you want? So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Do you guys still enjoy the Yamato as much as I do? And if you like what I'm doing, punch your like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.